The first thing Eli Mercer noticed was the silence. Not the ordinary quiet of deep space, where engines hummed softly and sensors whispered data, but a wrong kind of silence, one that pressed against the skull. The listening post-Kestrel 9 drifted at the edge of a red dwarf system, far from trade lanes and even farther from anyone who cared. It was the sort of assignment given to humans who had outlived their usefulness but not yet their contracts. Eli was used to it. He had learned long ago that boredom was survivable, regret less so. He floated in the narrow maintenance corridor, magnetic boots disengaged, tools drifting around him like lazy moons. A diagnostic panel blinked amber, complaining about a minor fluctuation in the station's gravitic dampeners. Eli sighed and reached for his wrench. That was when he heard it. Not a sound exactly. No vibration in the air, no audible frequency his ears could catch. It was more like a pressure behind his eyes, a faint, distant pull. A sensation that didn't belong to him. Eli froze. Humans weren't supposed to be psionic. That was the official line repeated by every interstellar council since first contact. Some species could bend minds, others could sing to gravity itself, but humans built things. Humans endured. That was it. And yet, the feeling persisted. Help. The word wasn't spoken, but Eli understood it as clearly as if someone had whispered into his ear. He turned slowly, heart pounding, and followed the sensation down the corridor toward the station's lower storage decks, areas long ago sealed after budget cuts. "Nope," he muttered. "I'm not hallucinating today." Still he went. The sealed deck doors resisted. Their authorization long expired. Eli cursed, popped the access panel, and manually overrode the lock. The doors slid open with a groan, releasing air that smelled stale and unused. Inside, emergency lights flickered weakly, casting long shadows over rows of abandoned cargo containers. The pull grew stronger, sharper, like a hook in his chest. "Please." Eli followed it to the far end of the deck, where a small, sleek escape pod was wedged between crates. Its hull bore markings he didn't recognize, curved glyphs etched in shimmering violet. Alien. His breath caught. He cycled the pod's hatch manually. It hissed open, and inside, curled on the floor, was a girl. She was small, barely adult by human standards, her skin a soft silver blue that shimmered faintly in the emergency light. Thin tendrils of translucent hair floated around her head, frozen in place as if gravity had forgotten her. Her eyes, large, faceted, and glowing faintly, were wide with terror. She was alive, and utterly helpless. Her body was rigid, muscles locked in a paralysis so complete it bordered on statuesque. No sound escaped her lips. No movement, no gesture, no cry. But her mind screamed, "I can't move. Can't breathe right. Please. Anyone." Eli staggered back, nearly losing his balance. The mental voice was stronger now, clearer, filled with panic and pain. He clutched the pod's frame, forcing himself to breathe. "It's okay," he said aloud, though his voice shook. "I hear you. I don't know how, but I do." Her eyes flicked toward him, and relief flooded through the connection, so intense it nearly knocked him over. She wasn't human. Eli knew that instantly. She was a member of the Lyra T, a species rumored to be powerful telepaths, feared across several sectors. Most races avoided them entirely, and she was trapped in her own body. Eli acted on instinct. He scanned the pod, pulling up faded logs. The Lyra T girl, her name translated roughly to Saley, had been smuggled aboard months ago, hidden from slavers and bounty hunters alike. During a skirmish near the station, the pod's stasis field had malfunctioned, locking her in a partial paralysis state. Her species could normally project mental distress calls, but the damaged field scrambled her signal into useless noise. Useless to everyone except him. "I'm going to get you out," Eli said, even as alarms in his head screamed about interstellar law and the danger of harboring a Lyra T. "I promise." "They're coming," Saley sent, fear spiking. "They tracked me. They find me like this." A distant thud echoed through the station. Then another. "Boarding impacts," Eli swore. "Pirates or slavers. Either way, they weren't here for spare parts. They were here for her." He didn't hesitate. Eli ripped open the pod's medical compartment and jury-rigged a portable stabilizer, bypassing every safety protocol he could remember. His hands moved fast, years of mechanical instinct taking over. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he rerouted power from the station's life support. The lights flickered. "Come on," he whispered. "Come on." The stabilizer hummed, then flared green. Saley's body shuddered. Her fingers twitched. "I can feel again," she sent, wonder mixing with terror. Boots thundered in the corridor outside. Eli grabbed a plasma cutter and positioned himself between the hatch and Saley's pod. The door blew inward in a spray of molten metal, and 3 armored figures stormed in, tall, multi-limbed, their weapons already raised. "There she is," one hissed in broken trade speech. "Step aside, human. This does not concern you." Eli laughed, a short, sharp sound. "Funny. I was thinking the same thing about you." The pirates fired. Eli moved before he consciously decided to. He ducked, rolled, and triggered the cutter, slicing through one attacker's leg. Another swung a weapon toward Saley's pod. "No!" Eli shouted. Something inside him broke. The pressure behind his eyes exploded outward. For the first time in his life, Eli didn't just hear Saley's thoughts. He felt them. Her fear. Her rage. Her desperate will to survive. And somehow, impossibly, he echoed it back. The air rippled. The attackers screamed as invisible force crushed them against the bulkheads, their armor crumpling like paper. Gravity spiked, then twisted, then vanished. Within seconds, the pirates lay unconscious, or worse, on the deck. Silence returned. Eli collapsed to his knees, gasping. What did I just do?" Saley's presence wrapped around him, gentle now, astonished. "You listened," she sent softly. "No one ever listens to us without breaking. Humans aren't supposed to hear us. But you did." He helped her out of the pod as her strength slowly returned. She was unsteady, leaning heavily on him, but she was free. In the hours that followed, Eli hid the bodies, sent a falsified distress signal, and prepared the station's long-abandoned shuttle. Interstellar law be damned. He wasn't handing her over. They sat together in the cockpit as the shuttle powered up, the red dwarf burning like a quiet promise beyond the viewport. "What happens now?" Eli asked. Saley looked at him, her eyes no longer filled with fear, but with something deeper. "Respect. Gratitude." "Now," she replied, "my people will know what you did. That when one of us was silenced, immobilized, forgotten. A human heard her anyway." Eli swallowed. "That good or bad?" Her lips curved into a smile, a very human expression. "For the galaxy. Terrifying. For you. Life-changing." The shuttle leapt into hyperspace, leaving Kestrel 9 behind. Years later, stories would spread across the stars. Of a species thought deaf to the mind, who could nonetheless hear the quietest cry. Of a human who stood alone against powers older and stronger than himself, not because he was special, but because he chose to listen. And among the Lyra T, a new saying would take root, whispered with awe and caution alike. "Few are trapped. Few are silenced. If you cannot move or cry for help, find a human. One of them might hear you,